Good morning all Japan citizens, and international world of Asians. This is the Todojuku morning news. My name is Prince Yoshi. And today's report we will talk about user cyberbullying who infamously abusing their users. There are some users who abusing to the all users way too far, treating them that they are worse than Stalin and Hitler, punishing over a minor mistake. And even the most worst part of all, the infamous one that movie what they give their user a worstest gift, which it's very gore and violence. Along with people who are involved in it and also helping them out, the movie they give are very rude and unacceptable. For an example, they forced to the user who killed the video game character named Mario and Sonic, worst movie ever in 2016, bullying in community tab, or even worse ones that giving users cyberbullying 24/7 non-stop and the more worstest way too far of the criminals users. And these users aren't take it anymore when two criminals can doing some bad things to it. The victims who were killed by criminals are Mario, Sonic, Lola J, Splatfest and the others victims. The criminals are identified are Shelly Bain and Gusty Gave will be identified. Users will find out soon. And now, we will go on a scene with Kagamin Len who has the interviewers with it who wants to say at this matter. Len, take it away.
Thank you Prince Yoshi. Anyway, I'm on the scene where I'm close by the Tokyo Skytree station, from Tobu Skytree line. The interviews who will go first, named Akiyama and Katarina, the second best friend in Keisuke All-Star's main characters. So Akiyama and Katarina, what would you like to say about these users giving another users for doing some bad things?
So, I heard about all this on the news where those people got killed and painful, and get themselves a bad things. But I would say that this is absolutely absurd. The way how they did to them is absolutely unacceptable. I saw a gruesome moment with that characters named Mario and Sonic who killed by Shelly Bain stabbed with a knife. Mario and Sonic all body is hurting so badly. Even worse, she is giving some her hater for giving the worst gift movie called Sausage Party. Seriously, that movie is rated R for all years. They even blind and vomit because of her actions. That was seriously cruel and very absurd I ever saw in my entire life. These users are seriously mentally ill.
Yeah, these criminals are just sick. I even saw that community tab of the worst user Ghosty gave to do some bad things to Lola J and Splats for 24/7. I was so pissed. His action is way too much and too far. Literally he hurt him so bad and caused him to can't take it anymore. What a horrible user. I feel so bad and feel really heartbroken for that guy and also the other victims who were abused by their insane cyberbullying users. They need so many justice.
So, Wataru and Katarina, do you ever allow this end of that to these people?
No, why would we? February is a good girl. If she got in trouble, then we would comfort her. But not abusing like this. We would be in big trouble if we doing that. We never will.
Yeah. No way how we'll doing that. I hope these criminals get arrested for abusing people, murder, and torture. We also like to see them in person in court if they are found. That's all we say.
Thank you Wataru and Katarina for your time. Now we have the next interviewer. The name is the Super Razor 12. So, what would you like to say about these users giving another users have some bad things?
For my answer, I find this extremely bizarre. Doing that is very torture and extremely cruel. I saw a very unsettling moment where that character, Sonic, was killed and stabbed by Shelly Bain. Like what in the actual heck? Is she insane or what? That's absurd. At least he was okay. Ugh. But then it got more worse by making the sequel video out of her hater non-stop. That is very unacceptable. How the heck did she do doing that? That's very rude. I can imagine how Sonic feels that he fainted. He did not deserve all this. Not even the other victims.
So, do you ever allow this under that to these people?
Oh, heck no! These people is a very good person, including one, Mijiro Dober in Special Week. She is a very good horse in the Uma Musume characters I've ever seen. She is a best friend while to do some homework together in recess at school. But she running together, but I'll understand she is good at it. She never got in trouble. I would comfort her if she does, but not like that one. Luckily she doesn't. She is a smart girl, and already graduate from her school. I hope these criminals get locked up. That's all.
Thank you, the Super Razor 12, for your time. Now we have the next interviewers is Fujiwara Takumi and Sophia Scott. Now Fujiwara and Sophia, what would you like to say about these users giving a bad things?
For your question, I find that extremely atrocious and outrageous. Don't they realize that's a crime and they would be charged with cruelty and abuse? It also counts as assault, torture, and murder. They can really be thrown in jail for the rest of their lives, or face death penalty for executions. I saw this character named Mario was stabbed and killed by Shelley Bain with a knife. And the worst of all that, she gave the hater a worst gift ever in the movie called Sausage Party. This type of behavior is everyone hated it, and is very offensive to every community guidelines in the whole world. I've never been so extremely pissed off when she did that. She is going to regret that soon when she die. That girl is such a psychopath, freaks, and abusing criminals.
Agreed. I even saw the poor character named Sonic was tortured by Shelley Bain. I've never been so ashamed of a girl torturing this character. I feel very bad for that this characters. As even more worse and heartbreaking, Shelley Bain forced her hater to have to watch Sausage Party. Has she lost her mind or what? What she did is cruelty. Does she realize she went too far for that? That made me so pissed off. I can feel that these victims is feeling upset. I understand they didn't want to watch this worst and horrible movie, but that psychopath girl will make it worse if they doesn't do it. Screw her for that. That goes to Kang and other cyberbullying users.
Now Takumi and Sophia, do you ever allow this under that to these people?
Heck no. We will never do that. I only scolded Rice Shower because of her poor grades she had in secondary school. But gladly she catched up aboarded from there. Thank God I would never do that. Right now, I'm proud of her when she plays against a team at basketball at secondary school, and that makes me really proud of her. And I also really want to see these criminals in prison, so I can give them a lot of yelling and scolding them for the crimes they did to these people and treating them like hell. We're done this interview. We're out.
Thank you, Takumi and Sophia, for your time. Next, we have the former team members of 7-Star Leaf from Initial D. His name is Suetsugu Toru. So Mr. Toru, what would you like to say about these criminals giving these people like that?
As if my answer, I found this very disgraceful. That type of this stuck to user abuse. I understand what people can get in trouble, but doing that is just way too far. But I always saw this poor character named Mario was being tortured by Shelley Bain. One of the worst I saw that Mario was forced to watch Sausage Party by Shelley Bain. Sausage Party? Are she crazy or what? Sausage Party are very gore and violence that contains pedophiles and can get you very hurtful and ended up in surgery for weeks or months or possibly die. They could have ended up in a hospital for surgery or could have been killed thanks to this psychopath girl. She ought to be ashamed of her for doing that to him. That's just way too far. And I even seen an embarrassing post of that poor guy named Lol J. Shamed and humiliated by Ghosty Gay who are involved in him on social media. It got so many people find an evil plan. Like what the actual heck. That is not a good plan at all. I find this very heartbreaking and it breaks my heart to see Lol J like that. Especially with his injuries I saw. He did not deserve all this torture. This incident also happened on the day of his video. How heartbreaking. Punish on him to his video. I hope this community tab will take him down. His social media should be ashamed. That goes to him and people who were involved in his video. He should be arrested for this. Lola Jane need to be justice and also the abused user as well.
So Toru, do you ever allow this under that to these people?
Never for the rest of my lives. I wouldn't be awful people and be abusers to them. They are a really good person. Platelet something gets in trouble when she comes home late. When she out with red blood cell AE 3803 that long, possibly in trouble at restaurant, I usually get worried about her, but not with abusing like this. Platelets is a good little girl. Can be a lass sometimes. She and Platelets don't get along that much, but still cared about each other. I hope these criminals were found and arrested. I also want to join this event's day for what they did to these victims. So that's all I have to say for this interview.
Thank you for your time, Toru. And last but not least, this character from the Kami-sama Kiss of the main character, Momozo no Nanami. So Miss Momozono, what would you like to say about these criminals giving these people a bad things?
I find this stuff very unacceptable in user abuse. They should realize this type of behavior is getting out of hand and doing way too far. They can go to jail for life or execution. Not to mention, I saw a disturbing moment where the character named Sonic and Mario was stabbed by Shelly Bane with a knife. That was very painful for them.
Was she trying to kill them or what? She could have almost stabbed them to their guts, or even their heads. Using a knife is very sharp and dangerous and can cut all the body.
And I even saw a gross moment where Shelly Bane giving the worst gift to her hater like that. She is giving a violence movie called Sausage Party.
Seriously? She was she thinking? She is such a pervert and pedophile to the hater like that.
She can get arrested for a sex crime and cyberbullying. That girl sickened me. She can't do that to any people like that. Not even these people. She is such a pedophile.
Hope people is okay for this way.
So Momozono, do you ever allow this under that to these people?
I would never to do that to these people. He's a good guy. Back then he had me worried that he hasn't called me for a few weeks. So I decided to visit my friend at home, and began to believe that he wasn't my friend. I was to go and call the authorities and running tests to see if he really was my friend.
However,
It convinces me he has not been himself lately. I worried, but I'm glad he's okay.
and I officially did not punish him, but not like this one.
We just wanted to make sure he's all right, and told me the truth that he's not himself.
I hope these criminals get locked up for good for what they did to them.
That's all I have to say. I am leaving now.
Thank you for your time, Momozono. So that's all the interviews we have here of this area. Back to you, Prince Yoshi.
Thank you, Len. Now that's the end of the news for now on. See you tomorrow in this news.